Good morning. Good afternoon, I guess. It's August 21st, 2024 at 12:15 p.m., just afternoon. I'm standing on basically overlooking east and southerly of the Weiser River in Washington County, Idaho. My name's Nick Parton. I am a stockholder on the Vally Ditch Company, but I am not an official board of director or acting in any official capacity at Vally Ditch. I am merely taking a video to help document some of the infrastructure concerns that the Vally Ditch Corporation and the users are facing. There's another video that's made that addresses our measuring device, which we call the picket place, and I've zoomed in to look at that, and I did that to show you the relation to where the diversion dam is. This video is about the diversion dam. So the ditch comes along the bank, comes along there, and it is diverted through this structure. Vally Ditch water dates back to July of 1883. It is assumed that this original dam diversion was built prior to that time in some form, as there is no evidence that they could have got water to be irrigated otherwise. For a number of years, it's been discussed about replacing the dam because it is aging and so forth, and part of the issue is they'd like to raise it a little bit. I'm not talking much, 6 inches or a foot. I don't know actual numbers, but the idea was that it increased the elevation flow so they could get more fall in the ditch to make more efficient delivery and measurement of the water throughout the system. The original survey was redone so they encompass all the ground that they possibly could to gravity irrigate out of the irrigation system. But in doing so, the fall in the ditch is less than optimal, which facilitates moss buildup, which hinders the flow and is a management issue in being able to deliver water throughout the system. In high water in the spring, this concrete slab by this head gate structure is often underwater. So this head gate is closed to keep the water running through the ditch in the wintertime, but in reality, in high water, that ditch is full and it goes around, and then there's two places of discharge. One is there's a spillway basically where the Dixie Creek comes in. The county is replacing that bridge right now, and the other is down with the picket structure. There's a head gate they close there, and they take the boards out of the spill back to the river so that any water that gets into the canal will be kept out of the canal system during the winter time. From at least entering at this point, there are other four other places in the Valley Ditch where part of the winterization process is to close the canal on the downstream side and open it up so that the natural drains can flow through their natural drainways back to the river. But the time and engineering cost to do this dam has prohibited much progress. But in the meantime, it's still being used, and there's certain things that I would call deferred maintenance that need to be addressed in order for the Vally Ditch Company to utilize this system adequately. We'll just start as we walk across. And probably more importantly is this head structure The boards are rotted off. This is on both sides and across here. These need to be fixed imminently as a maintenance issue, so that high water just doesn't take this head structure out and would render the whole thing inoperable. What we have here is spill. This boulder is really not a boulder. It used to be a pillar on the other side of this diversion where they could put checks in this spill to divert water to the river. This spill needs to be maintained because if it isn't left open, the water that's channeled over here, this head gate, settles, and it settles full of silt and rock and debris out of the river, which makes it necessary to clean, would make it necessary to clean it out. What needs to be done here for imminently as a minimum is push this rock or pillar back a little bit, or even take it out. But it had channels here for board to go over that other pillar. But we have a channel here. If we went over and put a channel on the other side there as height as the dam, then we could put, when we need to back the river up because of low flow, we could put some 3 to 12 boards or whatever up to the dam height to get operational. And like moving this rock, it could still stay in the spillway as a backup, but it just needs to be backed up so that, you know, a foot or 12 inches to be done with an excavator off the bank. And then put a channel, metal channel to be installed on the other side using masonry bolts, so the boards could be placed there rather than trying to capture the water with various canvas and stuff. And as you can see, it's not doing a very effective job. It is kind of interesting. I don't know why, but I was up here a few days ago and the river flow is substantially higher than it was then. So, oops. I'm going to let you guys dangle as I make my way across the spill. So like I say, this dam in some form or whatever dates back to prior to completion by 1883. Rock scenario, the surface is wore out. There's places here that could be helped by pouring concrete in. You can see there's a concrete ledge down there. This is basically just a shallow diversion dam. There is writing in the concrete right here. I don't know whether it shows, but it indicates that this last, I should say, I guess it's the last, was 1987 that they did some repair work to it. You have it right here where you have a chunk broke out of the front, but there's really no sign of it leaking here. And the way this dam works, these boards are not in here until low flow so that the river, the main channel, can flow. Over time, these have eroded. There used to be better or different mounts that held these boards, and then they put perpendicular boards there to back the water up. And in many years this isn't an issue, but like this year where you got an extremely low flow, the boards don't seal it up well enough to back it up to get the amount of water that they need. There was at one time a bracket on the front of this that these boards set in, but they've since got, you know, all it takes is a log to come down and wipe it out. The only place I know that this dam actually seeps at all or leaks is right here. So it's a thing that could be done here in the interim until and if there was any long-term changes. Would be to go in here. I guess to explain that, there's a lip there that those boards set against, but it's eroded away, so it's not rounded, so it's hard to get the boards to set in there. Like you can see where that water spewing through, there's a gap in there. But to go in here and set a angle iron, use masonry bolts to set that angle iron. It wouldn't have to be high, say 2 or 3 inches high across this channel, so that the boards could have an even surface to set on, which would allow them to be set level in there and seal this off. In addition, which isn't requiring any repair, I don't know how well you can see that down there, but you could just use an irrigation dam with a pipe in the bottom. After you put the channel in there to hold it, or angle iron to hold it in place, you could put a weighted canvas dam so the bottom of it will set on the surface to seal up the gaps. And if you had the time, well, this side's actually fairly square, but so like today, there is a lot more water going by here than can and will happen as the available water disappears. We have about roughly 4 inches of dam height, or 4 inches of elevation we could gain in the Middle Valley Ditch if we were able to seal this water off better. As it is right now, even though we got above minimum flow, we're discharging all the water we can get out of here. As you can see by the gauge is not down on the water. And that 4 inches could make the difference of whether the any measuring device proposed for the picket place that would help regulate the water functioned as designed. But as with many of our infrastructure structures within the Middle Valley Ditch system, they're basically up to, like this is 140 years old. It's still functioning. It looks ugly, but with some attention it could adequately serve the ditch until a better option came along. However, failure to address these needs right now jeopardizes the ability to deliver water in upcoming years. What we need is to find out what permits are required to address these minimal maintenance needs, so we can take care of these at this opportunity we have. As is, I said earlier, this is August 21st, 2024. We're not likely to have water in the system till October 15th. And even if we did, the water level will be such that we can address these needs with minimal intrusion into the river or structure. So this video is made to apprise people what the situation is and to get advice on what we need to go forward. With that, I will end this video. And that is Highway 95 up on the bank. Have a good day.